We'll be taking a look at a series of cold fronts moving across the eastern half of the lower 48, bringing cooler than average temperatures along with some Arctic air. We'll also be taking a look for some gusty conditions across parts of the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes region, while with those series of cold fronts along with our atmospheric river bringing some rain conditions back to the Pacific Northwest. We'll be tracking all that and more in today's video. Alrighty, I'm meteorologist James Olive here with Dynamic Weather Agency LLC. First thing we're going to be taking a look at is our current radar. Right now we do have a couple of isolated snow showers across parts of North Dakota and into parts of Minnesota on the backside of this area of low pressure moving on through the area. So we are seeing some isolated snow showers with that. We also have a cold front stretching across parts of Michigan into Illinois, all the way back into Oklahoma and into North Texas. And we're seeing some isolated showers begin to develop along that cold frontal system as it'll continue to gradually push eastward, where we are going to expect to see some precipitation all the way from the Columbus, Indianapolis area down towards the Memphis and Little Rock area, where the best chances for the most accumulative precipitation will be within the next 24 hours. We're also seeing a little bit of snow showers across parts of the higher elevations in the mountains, across parts of Vermont, New Hampshire, into parts of western Maine. Taking a look at our current surface analysis, we do have an area of low pressure across Manitoba and western Ontario with an inclusion across parts of the Great Lakes towards that area, with a cold front stretching all the way from Michigan, all the way down through Illinois into Missouri, Oklahoma, back into Texas, with a lot of cold air pushing on in on the backside of this area of low pressure. As we take a look at our 850 millibar temperature anomalies, taking a look at our forecast, we'll see some of that cold air begin to push its way southward and eastward across the region as that cold front continues to advance eastward across the area. As we have above average temperatures up ahead of that cold front, below average temperatures will begin to spill on in behind that, with temperatures anywhere from 10 to 15 degrees below average. But those below average temperatures won't stick around for long, as you can see a warm up here at the end of that loop as we start to see some zonal flow begin to develop back across the eastern half of the United States, along with a little bit of ridging that's going to bring some warmer conditions back into the region. Now, as this front continues to push on eastward across the area, we'll see some rain and conditions across parts of the Ohio Valley, down back towards the Ozarks, with anywhere from Indianapolis towards Columbus, down towards Little Rock and Memphis. We'll see anywhere from a quarter inch to a half an inch of precipitation, with a narrow band from Cincinnati back towards Jonesboro, where we can see anywhere from half an inch to an inch and a quarter of precipitation, with showers developing along the frontal system as we move on in later on this evening into the overnight. Now, as that frontal system continues to push off to the east, the winds will shift, bringing those lake effect snow engines, some snow squalls developing across the UP of Michigan and across Michigan from Kalamazoo up towards Traverse City, along with some snow conditions all the way from Buffalo towards Erie down towards Cleveland, and then some lake effect snow up near the Syracuse region as these lake effect snow engines begin to turn on, with those winds shifting as that frontal system continues to push off to the east. So again, taking a look at our futurecast radar, for the most part, as we move on into the evening hours, we'll see more of that precipitation begin to develop along that cold front, maybe some intense showers across parts of southern Missouri, Illinois, into Arkansas, where we may hear a few rumbles of thunder. As the storm system continues to push off to the east, the winds will shift across parts of the Great Lakes, where we'll see those lake effect snow engines begin to develop, where we'll see lake effect snow across the UP of Michigan, western Michigan, Lake Erie, Lake Ontario, along with some of that atmospheric river event, bringing some precipitation back to parts of the Pacific Northwest here on Thursday into Friday, where we'll see some rain conditions across there. Again, those lake effect snow engines continuing across the area, especially across Lake Erie and Ontario as we continue through Friday. But for the most part, conditions are going to be quiet across much of the rest of the United States, with some mountain snow conditions still possible across parts of the Rockies, from all the way from Montana down through Wyoming into parts of Utah and even the northern parts of Colorado. Now, not only do we have this frontal system moving on through, we're going to be seeing a second frontal system, and this one's going to be more intense, as you can see right here. It's going to be packing more of a punch across parts of the Great Lakes and even into parts of the Mid-Atlantic. Take a look at some of those below average temperatures that are going to develop across the Great Lakes region into the Mid-Atlantic and even to the southeast as this deep upper level trough axis begins to develop, with ridging across the western portion of the United States. And the difference between this system and the last system is that the last system was kind of detached from some of that Arctic air, and this system is going to be more attached to that Arctic air, bringing some of that Arctic air down with it. As we take a look at some of our high temperatures on basically Monday, the 22nd, you can see across parts of the upper plains into the upper Great Lakes region, temperatures are going to be in the teens, and into parts of the 20s, the lower 20s across that region, bringing some very frigid temperatures. Again, take a look at that across parts of North Dakota into Minnesota, temperatures in the teens and even into the single digits, while parts of the upper Mississippi Valley into the upper plains going to be in just the low to mid 20s, even into the upper 20s, while those wind chills, those are going to be some frigid wind chills across the area into the single digits, even below zero in some of these areas into parts of North Dakota and Minnesota, with some of those frigid wind chills below zero across the area. And like I said, some gusty winds are going to be developing across the backside of this low. You can see some of those 30 to even 50 knot winds developing across parts of North Dakota into Minnesota, Iowa, even moving its way into parts of the Great Lakes into Illinois, even across the Great Lakes where we'll see some gale force winds across the area, eventually moving its way into the Appalachian Mountains and eventually into the Northeast, where we'll even see some 30 to even 40 knot winds across those areas. And again, I want to highlight this again. Just take a look at our 1,000 to 500 millibar thickness right here. And this blue line that I highlighted, stretching across the United States with the ridging across the west and the troughing across the east. Again, you can see that line right there. That's the 540 decameter line. That is our rain snow line. That delineates where on the south side of that, you're more likely going to see rain, and on the north side of that, you're more likely going to see snow. As we take a look at some of the thickness values that are moving into the Ohio Valley, we're starting to see thickness values of basically about 516 within the area, starting to get close to that Arctic air intruding on into parts of the Ohio Valley with this deep upper level trough system moving on in. Again, this is more attached to the Arctic air than our previous system, as that other system is more cut off. This system is definitely going to be funneling in a lot more cooler air back behind it. Like we said, for the most part for Saturday, we'll see those mountain snow conditions continue for a little bit across Montana into Wyoming, parts of Utah and Colorado. As we'll take a look, you can see that system kind of ejecting out over the northern Rockies into parts of Manitoba, into western Ontario, where we'll see that new low pressure system begin to develop. Again, here's snow on the backside into parts of Minnesota, some showers and precipitation all the way from the Ohio Valley back towards the Ozarks. As that cold air begins to push on in on the backside of that, we'll see some of that precipitation begin to expand further on back to the lower Mississippi Valley and the southern plains, with some lake effect snow conditions across parts of Michigan. And as the system continues to push eastward, we'll see some of those lake effect snow conditions across parts of Erie and Ontario, along with that cold front continuing to push off to the east. Now, this is a little bit farther into the outlook, but take a look at this. We'll see an area of low pressure system develop on the east side of the Rockies as we get into basically Wednesday into Thursday, where we'll see some snow showers maybe develop across parts of Colorado, into parts of Utah, even with some snow conditions across parts of Texas, into Oklahoma and Arkansas and Missouri. By the time we get into Friday night and into even Friday morning into the afternoon hours with this new low pressure system, bringing some rain showers to parts of the southern plains and into parts of the southeast and mid-Atlantic, with rain across parts of the Ohio Valley and Tennessee Valley region. So that will be another system we'll have to continue to look out for, because some of the models are suggesting some significant snowfall across parts of northern Texas into Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Missouri, where models right now are painting even up to 8 inches, maybe even up to a foot of snow. Now, I think that might be overdoing it for right now. We'll have to see if the models continue on a track like that, because this is going to be a Colorado low, so it's going to be able to draw a lot of moisture with it, so it does have the potential to produce a lot of snowfall, but we'll have to see if there's going to be any mitigating factors if the models are just overdoing it right now.